What is up, all you chatbotters? If you guys are still interested in becoming one of the now almost 400 people in the free video series on how to sell your next $1,000 plus chatbot when you're first starting out, just drop an emoji and I'll make sure that you get that info so that you can get into the free contest that's going on right now. However, I put a post down earlier this morning. Actually, I posted it last night, and it got posted this morning, and there was a ton of questions that came in about how to actually pitch this stuff. So I want to take a little bit of time just to go out there and answer some of these questions that came in, because already right away there was some really, really great discussion, some really, really great questions out there. So if you guys are happening to catch this live, give me some love. We're gonna do some live videos here, but in order for me to be able to do these live videos, we need to have people on them, right? In order to have people on them, we need to have we just need to let the algorithm know that this is some shit worth watching. So I appreciate all the likes and the loves and the hearts. If you guys find anything valuable, or of course if you have any questions for yourself that you want to get into, throw those down into the comments and I will answer those. So let's go through, and I want to answer these questions first here because these came in earlier today. So Jimmy, he's actually someone in our accelerator program. Shout out to you, Jimmy. Jimmy asked, what about cold email prospecting templates? And it was really interesting because this is something that I was talking with my partner yesterday, because one thing that we do pretty heavily in our agency is we utilize a lot of cold outreach and a lot of outreach, just cold outreach in general, whether it's cold email. We use a lot of cold LinkedIn prospecting. Early in our days in our agency, we did a lot of cold texting. We've dabbled a little bit in cold calling. That only works really in certain industries. But what we found is that it does still work. And we're getting, ironically, although we are a chatbot agency, we are getting 40, sometimes 50% open rates from our emails because they are done the right way, right? Because they are done the right way. So lots of ways that you can utilize cold email if you want to. So it looks like we got some questions coming in. Guys, if you guys have questions, throw those down there and I'll make sure that I answer them for you as well. And then I'm going to ask for you to, every time you hear something good or every time you hear something valuable, to just pick up your finger or your thumb and hit that like button so that the algorithm will know that this is some good stuff. So let me talk about cold email or cold anything, right? A lot of people, when they're doing cold outreach, too many times they start talking about the wrong shit, and they get shut down very early in the sales process because they're not talking about what the customer actually wants to hear. Let me tell you what I mean. They get in touch with somebody or they reach out to somebody and they say, hey, I have this new chatbot thing. I have this new really, really cool, messenger marketing thing that can actually utilize quick replies and JSON APIs. And it's like all this confusing stuff that the business doesn't actually want. Well, when we got started in our agency, we initially broke into the real estate space because that seemed to be the easiest. And, I have my thoughts about that industry now. However, we've worked with a lot of real estate agents, and one thing that still works to this day is when we reach out to them cold, and we don't say, hey, we have a chatbot, or we don't say, hey, we can do Facebook ads, or we don't say, hey, we can do social media marketing. What we say is, hey, we can get you buyer and seller leads. Do you want to do more transactions, right? We can actually help you get more buyer and seller leads without having to waste any of your money. Do you want that? And if I say that to a real estate agent, a ton of them raise their hand. A ton of them say yes. A ton of them say, I want that, right? And so what you have to do in your cold email is you can't really talk about, or in your cold outreach, or in your cold LinkedIn message, or in your cold whatever, you can't really talk about the messenger bot, and you can't really talk about the chat bot. What you want to really focus on talking about is what's in it for them. What do you provide? Do they want clients? Do they want patients? Do they want sales? Do they want webinar registrations? What do they want as a business owner? And if you can say, hey, I can offer you that, right? And I can offer you that without you having to do anything. Do you want to hear about it? A lot of them will raise their hand and say that. Aisa says, what's wrong with real estate? I love them. Real estate is an amazing, just amazingly different breed of people. They are the entrepreneurs for sure. They are the old school entrepreneurs. So anyways, I'm not going to bash on real estate at all because that's not my intention. Just to say that, I don't know that if someone was starting out, that I would tell them to start out in the real estate space. I guess that's my intention, my point there. So we got some questions in here. I want to answer Rahul's and Sampa's question. It says, Rose says, how do you sell them? Recurring fee or one-time setup? It's really what the business is looking for. And well, I guess the first decision is you have to make is, do you want to offer both? Because you can do both. You can utilize the website model and it be kind of a one-time setup fee where it's a big, large setup, because there's a lot of things that go into it, into the creation of it, into the testing of it, into the, actually implementation of it. And then very nominal, minimal, maintenance fees, if any at all, right? However, a lot of Facebook marketers, they know that it's not really like, if you set up someone's campaign, that's one thing. You can kind of do that. But the real magic comes from the testing and the iteration and being able to retarget and do lookalikes and all these different things that you can do on an ongoing basis. And the beautiful thing is that similarly with chatbots, you can offer that same kind of value as well. So if you want to be able to offer them an ongoing package, usually businesses are going to look for a little bit less of an ongoing like fee, right? They're going to look for, or like it's usually people expect to pay less reoccurring than and a larger lump sum, all up front. So that's kind of the two options, right? And it's really, what do you want to do? And then the second thing is, what does the customer actually want? There have been times where we build something for a customer for a few $100, for $1,000, and we hand it off to them, and it's like, here you go. And then that's really what they want, and that's all they're kind of looking to do, and they don't have any other expectations other than that. But we've also had times where what we've had to do is, we've had to really, really work with the client, set it up, test it, break it, go back and build it again, edit it, iterate on it, and those things obviously provide value as well. But it's just a matter of, what is the client actually looking for? Are they looking for something that's more of an ongoing thing, or are they looking for something that they can set up and run on their own? So let's keep going down here. It says, Irma says contract templates, scope of work. So I'm not a lawyer. I can't really speak on that. I can't. What I would encourage you to do is to have a contract. What I would encourage you to do is to set those expectations and make them very, very clear in advance so that the client understands exactly what they are getting into. I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage. Now, is a contract going to save you every time in these battles and in these situations? No, because there's been times where we've had contracts in place and we've still been screwed over by people, and it's just, it happens because people are unfortunately still in that space. But my point is that I can't speak to that. All I can say is that you definitely want to have that stuff in place to protect yourself as much as possible, and with clear expectations of what you're providing and what they're going to be getting. So Chris Johnson says, what to say to get a local business interested? And once again, this goes back to the first thing that I talked about in cold email. We can't talk about chatbots. We can't talk about social media marketing. We can't talk about funnels or Facebook ads or relevance scores or cost per leads, or we can't talk about any of that stuff yet, right? What we have to do is we have to get into the mindset, and we have to get into what do they want? What are they looking for, right? When we say, what do we say to get a local business interested? We say, what if I can give you more money? Would you want that? Well, they'd be like, tell me, okay? Well, every business owner has a method in their head that if they have this, they can make money, right? If real estate agents, if they have sellers, right? If they have listings, they can make money. If dentists, if they have patients on the door, they can make money, right? If digital marketers, if they have webinar registrations, they can make money. So what can you offer, right? That for a lot of e-commerce stores, what if you could tell them, hey, what if I can offer you the ability to track everybody who added who added to cart, and then the ability to retarget them without having to pay for ads? They're like, whoa, what? What do you mean? Tell me about that. Well, and then you go into a chatbot, right? Well, have you heard of messenger marketing? Have you heard, right? And then, so you open up the conversation, not by talking about what you do, but by talking about what they get out of it, right? So those of you guys who are hopping on right now, hopefully this is making sense. This is a live Q&A about how to sell chatbots, and we actually had a post come in here, or I actually posted something this morning, and I thought it would just be helpful to get on the air and answer these. So if you guys have any questions, what I'm going to ask is for you to throw those down in the comments so that I can answer them here Otherwise, I'm going to beg for you to pick up your thumb. And if you've gotten any value out of this group, to hit that like button, or to take your mouse and hit the like button. We're trying to tell the algorithm that this is some good stuff. And we're also trying to tell Facebook right now that this is a group worth joining. This is a brand new group. And in just about a week, we're almost at 900 members. And this is going to be, I want this to be a place where it's worthwhile for you to show up, and it's worthwhile for you to hang out, and it's worthwhile for you to participate, because you're getting valuable information. You're connecting with, with awesome people. So, I'm going to beg for you to pick up your thumb or your finger and hit the like button. All right, let's see if we got any questions here. So Rose says, are there any tools you use for cold emailing a prospect and get a convo going? Yeah, we definitely use tools. I'm not in charge of that aspect. Okay, I got to be fully transparent. I do not deal with the cold outreach, but I do know that we use things like QuickMail. I do know that we use tools like G Suite and Google, G Suite. I do know that we use tools to be able to get these emails. I do know that we use tools to be able to verify these emails. So I don't have all of the softwares, and I wouldn't be able to recommend them because I don't use them personally. However, there are tools out there that make this thing possible, right? Everything from getting an email, right? You can have a software just search for all the emails on the internet, right? That are just already out there on the internet. You can have a software check and verify, is that actually a real email? Is that a valid email, right? You can actually have them verify that. And then you can actually have tools automatically send out and follow up with those emails if they don't. So let me kind of tell you what happens with our process, right? We have a software, and it's called QuickMail, actually. So this one I do know, and this one I do know is a pretty good software I will recommend. Is what will happen is it'll send out the emails automatically. We just upload the new emails into a database, and it'll automatically send out the emails. And if they don't reply, it'll automatically follow up with them, right? So this is kind of an automated fashion that we do. We use LinkedIn. So we have one of the people on our team going out there and manually connecting with everybody who's in our niche. And then we have a response back, so there are these kind of, that's not a tool. That's just someone on our team. He's just an awesome guy. So that's what I would say about that. Let's go in here. So let's see. Let's keep moving. So Arthur says, I'd be more interested in how to get a local business interested, right? What does he say? How to get a bunch of local businesses interested. I figure if I can get enough interested people are in a conversation, I'll figure out easily enough. So here's what I would say, right? There's so much opportunity with chatbots to be able to offer value to local businesses. What if you could do this? What if you could go to every single business, right? And then you could say, hey, I'm starting a local, it's a local, I live in LA, so let's just call it like, it's a local LA eat spot. And what you can do is you can go in and you can type in what you're hungry, what you're looking for, and what it'll do is it'll recommend all these restaurants in the area based on your location. You'll be able to get reviews and all this kind of stuff, kind of like a mini Yelp, but in Facebook Messenger, right? But specifically for your city. And so what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm going around and I'm finding all the people who want to participate for it. Well, it's totally free for you. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just, if you want people to join, right, then, you message people here, whatever it is. But now that gets your foot in the door, right? Another thing that you could do that I'm totally forgetting about is give a business a demo bot, right? Just make a demo bot for a particular business and let them try it out. Right? Like go on Website Hack, Industry Hack that particular business. And if you don't know what that is, go look up at some of the trainings and I talk about how to industry hack and website hack a particular, business for a chatbot. But what I would encourage you to do is to just let them play with it. Let them try it out. And that will demonstrate like what it is, right? Like earlier today, I had someone, excuse my hair, it's all crazy. I had someone say, oh my goodness, right? I was just like, they didn't really get it. And they were like, this doesn't seem like it would be right for me. And then I basically was like, hey, just play with this. And they were like, whoa, this is cool, right? It was funny because the message before was like, hey, with all due respect, I don't think that this thing is going to be like very good for us or whatever it is. I don't see how it's going to work. And I was like, hey, do this. And then the next message was like emoji, like sunglasses, cool emoji, like, wow, this is cool as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, because if you let the business experience it, right? Especially local businesses, restaurants. I did go yesterday to get my nails done. It wasn't really my nails that I want to get done. It was kind of my gross feet. I wanted to get a pedicure. I've never got a pedicure in my entire life. but I got it from my mom for her for Christmas gift, and I got her a gift certificate to the nail salon, and I hadn't given it to her yet, so I wanted to just go. I was like, I'm going to pay for you to get something. I might as well get, my feet rubbed too as well. But my point is, what if a chatbot could be, those nail salons, if you could just walk in and you can say, yeah, let me show you this it's a quick little demo. It'll take you 3 minutes. It'll show you can see all the different colors. You can see reviews. You can book an appointment. You can see prices. You can get directions, all this stuff. Yeah, it makes it really, really easy. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So, and then the great thing is that if you have them do it on their phone, you just say, yeah, pull out your phone. Do you have your cell phone? Okay, cool. Scan this code. You have a little messenger code in there. Or go to this link. Okay, awesome. Great. Very cool. Will you try it out? All right, awesome. Well, you have a great day. You enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be in touch soon. And then you just trigger the bot. You can do it automatically, or you can go in and send a broadcast, and you just say, hey, whatever. It was so great to meet you. Did you get a chance to play around with it? Do you want us to make this for your salon? And because they're in the chatbot, it's automatically able to be followed up with automatic, like you know what I mean? Like you have a way to follow up with them. They're in your bot. Like, hello, is this making sense? All right. Let's see here. What else? All right, quick engagement request. Guys, if you guys are enjoying this, please take your thumb, your hand. Like, I even got a mouse. See this? I got a mouse. Take your mouse. If you got a mouse, hit the like button. The algorithm will appreciate it. All right, I love this question. I want to talk about this one here. Will says asking for money. And he says for real, though, because he's a people pleaser. And this is one of the biggest things that I had challenges with, and that I find that a lot of newer salespeople and entrepreneurs have, right? Like I remember the first time I had to sell an online product, right? I was selling something for $47, and I was like nervous. I was like, oh my goodness. Like I felt absolutely I felt like I was taking advantage of people by asking them for money. And frankly, this stemmed a lot from I look back and I had just had some really like messed up beliefs about money growing up. I love my family to death, but they didn't have the best perspective on money, and they didn't really teach me the best money mindset. So this here is, I'm going to talk a little less about chatbots and talk just a little bit more about mindset and psychology, because I find that there is a number that every entrepreneur, every salesperson gets to, that they have no problem asking for, They have no problem asking for this number, but anything above that number, it starts to get tough. Let me give you an example. If you, for you, I'm gonna ask you, what is this number? Do you have any problem, no problem asking for $100? Or what's that number? 500 or 1,000? Can you ask for 1,500? Can you ask for 2,000? No problem. At what point does it start to go, at what part do you say that, right? What's that number? I was talking to my partner. We were talking about sales a little earlier while we were building our agency, earlier in our agency's journey. And it was hey, what's that price for you? And I was having this conversation with him, and he was like, well, anything over $1,500, I have to start trying to convince them why it's worth it. And I'm like, all right, well, that's great. We've identified the number. And so once you identify the number, the next way is to convince yourself, right? Or there's two routes to go. The first thing is you identify that number, and then the second thing is so you identify the number, and then you have two routes. And one route is you get better because you go, holy shit, my product, my service isn't actually worth that much, right? My product, my service isn't actually worth what I'm asking for, right? And that happens sometimes. Hopefully that's not the case with you, but that might be it, where you're like, damn, I need to find a way to offer more value to it, right? Right now I'm just offering them like one little chatbot, but if I want to, ask for this much money, then the chatbot's got to do this, and this, right? So the first thing that you got to do is you got to be able to, you might have to just create a better product or service. But generally, if you have a product or service that is worth that much and worth that money, well, then the second thing is that you have to go through and you have to mentally convince yourself why it is worth all of those, why it's worth it, right? And you have to go through and look at the case studies and see all the work and ask them, all of this stuff. Oh, sorry for seeing this question here. All of this stuff to convince yourself of why it's worth it. So that way, when you are talking to a client, you're like, yep, no brainer, no problem. It's worth this. Here's why. Here's what we do. And if you don't want, and it's it should be at the point where it's if they don't want to pay you that, it's like, all right, bro. Like, hey, no worries. I wish you the best of luck. Good, like I wish you that's what I would say. Is like, I wish you the best of luck. Like, good luck trying to do this on your own, right? Like, you're like we had someone who said, oh, we're just gonna do it on our own, and I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, you're not gonna do it on your own. And for me, like, maybe they weren't ready, and I wasn't on the sales call at that point, so maybe they didn't fully understand it, but you've got to be able to have that confidence where it's like, this is what we offer, this is what it costs, I know damn for sure it's worth this, right? And it should be at the point where it's like, frankly, we should be charging more because we offer so much value to you that everything that you're getting is a no-brainer. So I guess kind of going back to answering your point more directly, Will, I try and make things a no-brainer, right? Because if I make things a no-brainer, then I don't ever have to feel bad about asking for people's money, right? But if someone is like so excited to give me money to get what I have, that they're like, this is all I have to, like think about you, Will, right? Like Will's been in our accelerator program. One of the first ones that joined our very, very first 29 steps program, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 months ago, before I was even really talking about chatbots, Will was in there. And Will, you know, I hopefully would have guessed that, or I hopefully would say that Will would, you know, he bought the course, the accelerator program at $97, right? It was half of what it costs now. And so it's like, when you create offers and opportunities for people to jump in with a no-brainer kind of mentality, then nobody has to feel bad, right? Because I still feel bad. I want to give, I'm like, how, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give everything away. That's why, like, I do give so much away. And I, like, frankly, for me, I know it's because, like, I don't need to make all my money from you. Like, that's what it is. Like, frankly, like, mine, like, sure, I have an accelerator program. Sure, I'll teach you how to make and build and sell chatbots. But that's not my only business, guys. That's not even one of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've got other ways of creating cash flow so that I don't have to suck all of the money out of you guys, which I don't want to, you know? I want you guys to join the accelerator program when you're ready and when it makes sense. And when like, you know what I mean? So creating no-brainer offers. And then also something that my mentor, Tim Rode, tells me, you know, and talks to me about is not only creating vertical streams of income, right? Well, but which is like, okay, so you got, you know, Will actually teaches healthcare providers how to market themselves digitally, right? He does teach them how to do digital marketing. He's got an incredible group. It's all fired up. He sells a course where he teaches and he trains and he coaches these people on how to do it. It's awesome stuff. Now, here's the thing. Will can decide to go really, really deep, and I would encourage him to do that, right? To go deep and to really build that into a, you know, 2 comma, you know, funnel, right? And to, you know, really crush it in terms of that regard. But also, one other way that you can do to make it easier in terms of asking for money is, how can we go horizontally, right? So another one of my mentors, David Osborne, has something like over 350 streams of income, maybe even more than that. I could be totally like lowballing that, but for sure, hundreds of streams of income. So for you, okay, this one thing is working. Let's try and find a way to systemize it and put it on autopilot as much as we can, and then find another way to start creating some other source of income. So Will, I know that was kind of like a tangent, but hopefully this is kind of giving you guys some ideas here as well. So Bill says in his former space, he had no problem asking for $250K, but now he feels nervous for asking for $1K. Okay, so awesome. So Bill, thank you so much for saying this, and thank you so much for throwing that down there, because you are not alone, right? There are so many people who have come from other spaces, and all of a sudden, because they're now marketing digital services, right, they're afraid to ask for the big thing. Now, here's what I would share with you. Back when you were selling $250,000 contracts, it was probably very, very specialized, right? It was probably very, very, very niched, right? It was probably like only a certain amount of businesses or a certain amount of companies like in the world or whatever like did this particular thing, because that's what causes someone to ask, you know, for those kind of things, or it's like usually very, very specialized. And the challenge with digital marketing is that we are so I'm going to use this word. Some people call it incestuous, right? The digital marketing crowd, they call it incestuous because we all hang out together. And that's a really good thing, because it creates these opportunities and this synergy, and there's this amazing learning environment that's really created. However, the problem with that is that we devalue how specialized and how valuable our services actually are. My partner, Dan, I'm going to shout out. So Dan, right? My partner, Dan, went out and gave a talk, okay? He's actually someone who graduated from college, and I love, nothing to take away from Dan. This is definitely, but I want to share. He graduated from college last year, started digital marketing, about 3 or 4 years ago, has had like 2 or 3 what I'm going to, not as successful online ventures as he could have, right? In the sense that they maybe didn't work out as well as he could. However, he still has learned a shit ton along the way. He still is a badass. He went out and spoke at an event and had a former NFL player come up and speak to him. And now he's working with a former NFL player, right? Because of the knowledge, right? In a room full of old fuddy-duddies, Dan is a badass. Dan is an expert, and Dan does know a lot of shit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like, you don't have to be like in this internet marketing world. You don't have to be the Russell Brunson. You don't have to be the Gary Vaynerchuk. You don't have to be, although those are the like, oh my God, the gods in our world. If we step outside of our world and we go into our niches and our industries and we start to play around and hang out there and network there, and we start to just converse with these people, you will realize how valuable what you know actually is. People will go, wait a minute, you can do that? Wait a minute, but you have to be able to explain it to them the right way. You can't talk about funnels and sales pages and one-time offers and self-liquidating offers and upsells and downsells and webinars and no. You can't, we have to go back to the big thing that we talked about at the beginning. But if you can help them to see all that, right? And if you can help them to see that, you will have so many people. I've had people in my accelerator program, right? Gracie Ruth. She was out recently at Social Media Accelerator, and she's someone who's just getting started. Love her again, love her to death, but not someone who's been building bots for years, someone who's only been building bots for months, but because she walks around and is starting to network with people and talking about this stuff in a way that makes sense to them, they're like, hey, can I have your card? Hey, can we connect? Hey, can we get on the phone and talk about how I could do this, right, for me? So when you really start to just understand the value that you have in your business, right? Or that you can offer, man, the world will change, right? So Bill says luxury real estate. So once again, right? Now here's the thing. Luxury real estate, they have convinced themselves that they are worth that stuff. So once again, you've got to really, really, really convince yourself of all the reasons, right? Going through all, like really going through the case studies, asking them, okay, what's your lifetime value of your customer, Mr. Business Owner? Okay, so Mr. Business Owner, the first time that they buy, so it's $100 a month. Okay, so that means that they're going to be around for $1,200 a year. So that means that every customer that I get you is worth $1,200 a year. Okay, well, Mr. Business Owner, how long do they stick around? Okay, they usually stick around their customers for 2 years. Okay, so Mr. Business Owner, every customer that I get you is basically worth $2,400, right? Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Business Owner? Okay, cool. So, Mr. Business Owner, if I can get you 10 clients, that's worth $24,000 to you, correct? That's what you told me, right? Right, okay, great. Well, if I can get you $24,000 worth of business, doesn't it make sense? Isn't it worth it for this package to be worth $2,500 or $2,000 or $2,400, right? So going through and convincing yourself based on their numbers is a very, very helpful tactic as well in terms of like helping you to mentally be confident in asking for the sale. So Bill, here's the thing. You go out there and you say you're an old fuddy-duddy too, but it's all about helping them to relate. They have to be able to relate. They can't relate to chatbots. They can't relate to ManyChat. They can't relate to Chatfuel, right? Business owners do not relate to that. They relate to revenue. They relate to profit. They relate to customers. They relate to ROI. Like you gotta speak to them in their language so that they can relate, right? It's huge. Okay. So Jocelyn says, won't it make us sound condescending? Well, here's the thing. It's all in your tone, right? Let me ask you, and tell me yes. You could tell me, Hector, you're the most condescending douchebag I've ever met. But I hopefully, I don't know. Tell me if I do, if I make it seem condescending about the knowledge that I'm sharing with you or knowledge that I'm giving you, right? Hopefully not. And if you do it the right way, it's not condescending, it's helpful, right? Because, you can't just go in and say, oh, I'm a messenger marketer, I can get you this and this and this and this and this. No, right? What you do is you be a real person. You ask questions. So tell me, Mr. Business Owner, what kind of industry are you in? What are you doing? What are your goals? What's working for you? Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, have you guys done this? What are you guys like? By becoming interested in people will become interested in you. And naturally, after you ask them all these questions about them, they're going to go, well, so tell me, Jocelyn, what do you do? And you go, well, actually, I help businesses, do this, this, and this, and this. And they go, what do you mean? Tell me more. Well, actually, we do it this, this, and this way. And they go, well, how does that work? Well, we do it like this and this and this. And so they're starting to get it, right? And that's like, they don't need to know how to do it, but they should go, whoa, that's fucking awesome. I can't do that myself, but what you're talking about sounds awesome. I need your number, right? So if you do it in the right way, they're really able to relate as opposed to it being condescending. So Jocelyn says that you don't see it. So what I would share with you is that there is a way to do it without being condescending, and it comes to that relatable aspect, right? So that's big. So let's see if we have any more questions in here. So Karen says the best way to pitch, right? How to make the company understand the benefits of using an automated response system. All right. So this is a great question. Okay. This is the great question. So once again, what you have to realize is that when you're talking to a business owner, they don't care about chatbots. They don't care about messenger marketing. They don't care about any of that stuff, right? What do they care about? We talked about it before. They care about what they care about. And so what you want to do is, once again, frame the chatbot, frame the automated follow-up system in how it works for them. So let me tell you what I do. So I tell them everything that they don't have to do. Like, that's kind of how I frame it, right? So I frame it as like, all right, so let me tell you what our system is going to do. And I'm framing it, I'm basically saying, like, here's what you're not going to have to do. So I'm like, yeah, our system's going to go out there. It's going to capture the lead. It's going to qualify the lead. It's going to nurture the lead. It's going to schedule the lead. It's going to follow up with the lead. And then it's going to actually have the person come into your business, right? It's actually going to have them come into your gym. It's going to actually have them show up to the webinar. And that's where you take over, okay? And then afterwards, what it'll do is it'll actually follow up with them. It'll close the sale. It'll remind them of, show them testimonials. It'll ask them for referrals. It'll ask them for reviews. It could do all that stuff. So all you have to do is sell them on the membership. All you have to do is close them on the webinar. All you have to do is get them under contract when you get them on, all you have to do is do what you do, Mr. Business Owner, and the automated messenger system takes care of the rest. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, I could do that. They're like, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. I could do real estate. I'm a dentist. I'm a chiropractor. You get me people in the door. Oh yeah. Like you let them do what they do and you get to be the marketer. They love you. And so realize that I'm not talking about chatbots. I'm not talking about I'm talking about what's in it for them. It's always WIFM radio, what's in it for them. So that's what I would say is we've been kind of framing it, in terms of the, all the best things to do, but, all of these things that I'm talking about is all included in the pitch. So I'm going to beg for some engagement right now because I haven't in a little while and we're drifting off a little bit. We haven't, had a few more people join in a little bit. So if this is valuable at all, what I'm going to ask you is take your finger, your thumb, your mouse, and just slam on that like button. I would really, really appreciate that. And it would, tell the algorithm that this is something worth watching. Okay, so let's, here's the last thing that I would say is make sure that people are coming into the pitch with the right kind of mindset, right? Make sure people are coming into the pitch with the right kind of mindset. What do I mean by that? Well, there's so many times where we get to the end of the pitch and it's like, oh, I want to think about it, or, oh, I need to talk to my partner, or, oh, yeah, this is great, but I want to do this in December, or, oh, all these excuses come out at the end. Well, whatever excuses you usually get at the end, you want to lock them down before you even get on a sales call. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times businesses have partners, and in order to make a decision, like a large decision, thousands of dollars, they need to get everybody on board. So you should probably ask that first, before you ever get on a sales call, right? What we do is we ask, is there anybody else that you would want to be like on the call? Is there anybody else that's going to be making the decision? Or, right, is there anybody that's going to be making a decision, or are you the one that pulls the trigger, right? That's the one that I like to do, that I like to say is because, for them, I really like to, like nail it down, like really like tie them down to them making the decision, right? So that's the first thing that I like to really, really, nail down. The second thing that I like to nail down is I like to nail down, when they're going to get started. Okay. So I say, like, I don't make them make any commitments yet, but I do make them say, like, hey, all right, if you like this, all right, if you like this, and if this is good, when are you going to, when would you want to get started, right? Like, when would you want to get going? And a lot of times they will, they'll say, oh, well, like as soon as possible. Okay, cool. Let's do the sales call, right? But if they go, well, we're thinking about doing it in December, and it's like, whoa, it's March right now, bro. Why are we going to do it in December? And the reason that the way that I sell them on it is like, hey, we're going to go through all of this. Like, we're going to be taking all of this time, right? We're going to be taking all of this, like, extra effort in order for us to, like, go through this kind of sales, like, strategy call, essentially. So if we're going to do that, we don't want to lose that momentum. Like, if we're going to do this strategy call, right, which is how we frame the pitch, like, we might as well get going, like, right afterwards. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of time. So, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, should we just hold off until December and just wait until then? Or do you think that you'd want to start getting more clients in your business right now? And they might go, well, blah, 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 I don't know. Okay, fine. I don't even want to talk to you then. All right, call me in December. Like, we'll follow, like, I don't even want to have that conversation. If it's already blah, blah, blah now, no. That we don't want to have that point in terms of B2B sales. But if it gets to the point where they're like, well, actually, you know what? You're right. Cause I've had that happen where people go, you know what? You're right. Actually, we should get started. We've been wanting to do this for a while. So you know what? Like, you're right. Let's just do this. Right. And if they say that, okay, cool. Let's book the call. So that way at the end of it, they're not like, well, we want to wait and stuff. It's like, hey, dude, hey, I know you said you wanted to wait, but you told me on the phone last week or the other day that you wanted guys to get started. So like, what's holding you back right now? What else is holding you back? Let's get to the real root of the problem, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is I like to make sure that they know the price in advance. I don't ever like to have people be blindsided by the price. That is that's annoying, right? Because that's one of the biggest things where it's like, let me think about it, right? It's like, no, you should be thinking about it all the way up in advance of the sales call, and then the sales call is just a determinant of whether or not it works out, right? If I always before we even get into the sales call, I tell them our price, and I'm like, hey, and maybe you tell them the basic price or your starting price, right? You don't tell them your premium or whatever. It's like, hey, our basic price starts at $1,500, right? Our basic price starts at $2,000, or our basic price starts at $1,000. Is that going to put you guys out of business, or is that something that you guys would be able to manage right now? That's how I say it, right? Is that like say it just like that? Is that going to put you out of business, or is that something you'd be able to manage right now? And if they go, ooh, $1,000, and they start making these weird noises that people make when you give them prices, then, all right, dude, you know what? Hey, this probably isn't the best time right now. Well, why don't you go, work on your business? Hey, I've got this free resource, this training that you can get started on your own. But, why don't, this is our fee. So, I wouldn't want to put a strain on your business at all, right? Well, the price is a big thing that I like to do, before they're coming in as well. And then the last thing is the last question I like to ask. And by the way, these are all been adapted. I can't take credit for all this stuff, because this has been adapted from years of studying and learning and mentors and training and stuff like that. So, I can't even say that this is all my ideas. This is just stuff that I have implemented from all of my mentors, over the years. And I've been running a business for now almost 10 years. So, it's a little bit. So the last one, though, is what else do you want to, is there anything else that you would want, right? And I like to figure out, okay, so what's success? Or, tell me, everything that, what would you want us to include, right? What would you want to make sure that's included in the package? What would you want to make sure that's included in the proposal? What would you want to make sure that's included in the strategy? And if you ask this question in advance, you get a lot of good, we want to make sure that it does this, or, oh, well, nothing, we're good. We just want to hear what you say. Or, oh, like if a lot of times you don't want to be blindsided by specifics, because some people, they have like really weird, we're working with one client right now, has this very like specific kind of campaign that they want to run that just isn't gonna work and isn't working. So getting all of those kind of quirky expectations out in the beginning of the call is huge, so that you can accommodate for them on the sales pitch, right? So that's big. Okay, guys, quick little engagement plug. All right, if this is valuable, I've been on here for 40 minutes, so I usually like to go for 15, but if this is valuable, I'm going to ask that you like, and we'll just hit the like button so that the algorithm will get more people on, so that it makes it valuable for me too. Let's dive in. Let me see if there's any other questions on here as well. So Josh says, when you're contacting a business owner, what questions you start off with, or how should you start the conversation? So always, Josh, I would encourage you to go back and watch the beginning of this. One thing that we talked about was like cold email openings or cold openings. And it's just like, hey, I can get you this. Do you want to, and then having them respond like with the lowest commitment that they could ever respond back with, right? So I would say like, just respond back yes if you want more info. Just respond back yes if you want to see a video on how it works. Just respond back yes if you want me to send you details about it, right? Just respond back yes if you're interested in hearing about our free trial, right? Whatever it kind of is, right? Like just having them have a low commitment response, so that all they have to do is, if it piques their interest, they just have to hit a couple of buttons to let them know that you're going to do it. And don't make them commit to a sales call right away. Don't make them commit to anything like big right away. Just make them commit to like raising their hand. Because if they raise their hand, now you can sink your teeth into them, right? Now you can really go after them because you know that they're interested. Irma says, can you speak about managed by us or managed by client if I prefer to hand the bot over to them? So let's see. I'm going to see if I can create this overlay. Hey. Oh, that looks kind of weird, huh? I'm sorry. That's annoying. So let's talk about that one. That didn't look good. So Irma, managed by us or managed by them? Great question. What I like to say about that is it's really about what is going to be most ideal for your business. That's probably the best place to start. Are you someone who wants to have an ongoing client roster list that you are ongoing and maintaining and maintenancing, and you want to have those residuals? Because it's nice to have residuals, but it's also not the most amazing thing to always be accountable to somebody, right? So maybe you want to go off and, travel the Swiss Alps for 3 months, and you want to do that, and you don't want to have to be responsible for someone. And obviously, if you have, if you're managing it for them, that's not going to limit the ability that you have in your opportunities. However, I'm not going to be going on any wild adventures in a while. I'm very much building our business. So for us, we are looking to offer that maintenance so that we can continue to plan for cash flow, and so that we can continue to grow our revenue. And maintenance generally isn't as much as the setup in terms of time. So that's what I would say about that. Irma, great question. Hey Chris, Vito, thank you so much for the love. Raul dropped some notes in there so you guys can go back and rewatch those. All right, we've got a few more in here. Let's see if I can blow through those. Let's see, how long have we been on here? Oh, 40 minutes or so. So Arthur says, the face-to-face is not feasible. What's the most efficient way to start a conversation with appropriate prospects, have authority, ability, and desire? So same thing, right? So it's always like, it's leveraging these systems. So you can use email, you can use LinkedIn, you can use, Facebook ads. Face-to-face is pretty, it's kind of like only if needed, right? There's like, I would tell you to start. I don't know, face-to-face is great if you're getting started, but if you can't do it, there are plenty of other equally effective ways, right? So one thing that I know that a lot of people are doing, well, I can't say a lot of people, that some people are doing that we're going to start testing out, is just running traffic straight to a chatbot sequence that qualifies segments and schedules appointments with business owners directly from Facebook without ever us talking to them. And so that all we have to do is hop on a Zoom call with them to discuss it. So I would just leverage things like Zoom. I would leverage things like Skype. I would leverage pre-recorded videos, pre-recorded case studies, pre-recorded landing pages and scheduling pages. Obviously, you can put all those things in your bot to be able to deliver that information and pre-motivate and pre-qualify these clients before you actually get on the phone with them. So that's what I would say about that. All right, how to start learning chatbots. Be in this motherfucking group, dude. Sampath, you're in the spot. You're in the place. All right. Actually, Sampath, go to m.me/millennial skills. Okay, there's training on there, and it'll get you started. So that's the better answer. Okay. So let's see. How to explain the prospects, all the great features we have. I think we kind of covered that, right? So for them, what I guess I'll speak a little bit more to this in the sense that chatbots are beautiful because now it's one software that can capture a lead, nurture a lead, convert a lead, close a lead, schedule a lead, follow up with a lead, and then actually have the lead give us a review all in one software, all in one system that costs $10 a month in ManyChat, $30 a month if you're on ChatView. And it's free if you use the free accounts, right? So literally, what used to cost thousands of dollars connecting all these different systems can now be done by one thing, right? So that's it. We can now capture leads, we can nurture leads, we can segment leads, we can qualify leads, we can close leads, we can schedule leads, we can follow up with leads, we can do all of this stuff with one system, right? One system. So that's how you help them to see all of it. Chris says he doesn't explain the bot. He says what it could do if you had, he explains like the value, like what you could get for them. So that's really what it could be. Jacob says, how would you approach the conversation when responding to someone's Facebook ad to pitch them bots? So always, Jacob, like once again, this is more of like a sales lesson than anything, but it's always about understanding what that industry wants and speaking to that first, because that's the only thing that they care about. They don't care about ads. They don't care about chatbots. They don't care about Messenger. They don't care about APIs. They don't care about any of the shit that like they don't care about anything that, and like they only care about what they care about. So speak to that first, right? And then once you speak to that and you can go, yeah, I can get you more patients. Yeah, I can get you more clients. Yeah, I can get you more listings. I can get you more of that thing that you really want as a business owner, right? Well, then they go, well, how? Jacob, how do you do that? Well, we have this thing called a messenger bot. Well, we have this automated response system that we install right on top of your Facebook business page. Well, right? So you tell them what they want, and then naturally, if you do it the right way and you know what they actually want, they're going to go, well, how I want that. How do I get it? So that's how I would say to approach it. So Denlin says, what qualifications should they ask? So great question, Denlin. Whenever we're making sure that someone is, whenever we're trying to pitch someone with this stuff, right? What we have to do is we have to make sure of a couple of things. The first thing that we have to make sure is that they are comfortable spending, or that they that they agree that they should be spending money on advertising, right? The first thing that they should be doing is, like you're already saying, people are already spending money on marketing. But for everybody who's out there, there are lots of businesses who don't think that they should be spending money on marketing. And that's kind of silly. You know, and I get the, you know, as I'm thinking about it, I get the mindset, because it's like, oh, when you're brand new, like every penny counts, but it's kind of a broke mindset, you know? So you have to get them convinced that spending money on advertising is actually even worth it. Or spending money on something like this is actually worth it. The second thing that you have to convince them of is that spending money on social media is worth it. Right? That's the second thing that they have to be comfortable with, is that these things are going to happen right on top of the social media platform. Because a lot of people go, well, yeah, but my people, my customers aren't on Facebook. Who? You tell me who. You tell me who's not on Facebook. My 80-something-year-old grandma is on Facebook. So you tell me who's not on Facebook, right? But what I'm saying is that they have to be convinced, because there are a lot of people who still have those crazy beliefs that people, that their customers aren't on there. So then the second thing is that they have to be convinced of marketing, then social media or Facebook. But then the third thing that they have to be comfortable with is this chatbot, or this automated messaging system. So I would ask them questions like, are you currently marketing? Are you currently utilizing social media? Do you have an automated follow-up system? Yes or no? And if the answer is no to any of these questions, I would dig in and I would go, well, are these things that would be valuable to you, right? Like Chris kind of said, like, what if I could automatically provide you with blank, blank, and blank? What if I could automatically provide you, Uh, obviously, it can. You see, always talking about bots. Obviously, it can automatically provide the that stuff for you. So would that be valuable, right? And the last thing is Jacob said presenting as a way to increase revenue and create urgency within the sale. So the last thing I would say with this, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. We've been here for a long time. Is giving them a reason to pull the trigger now, right? So whether that's a free month of maintenance, whether that's a little bit of a discount, whether that's a bonus feature, whether that's like giving them some sort of reason to pull the trigger now is so important. If you think about infomercials, they got infomercials got rich off of like 4 words, and those words were, but wait, there's more. And by offering people an extra little bonus, well, that pushes people over the edge a lot of times. And so whatever that bonus is for you, free maintenance, like I said, an extra this, right? One more bonus feature, I don't know, a little bit of a discount, $100 off, giving them some sort of reason to pull the trigger. So they're like, oh, I'm kind of on the edge, but if you're going to do that, all right, let's do it. And making that something that they, utilizing that will help them to pull the trigger sooner, more often. So that's huge. Irma says, what's the range for monthly maintenance fees? We've done everything from $200 to $2,000. So it's really dependent upon whether or not the maintenance is just going to be, hey, I'm going to be your tech support. So if anything's broken, anything needs fixing, you want to adjust anything, you can just call me or text me or message me or whatever, email me, and I'll do it. Or it could be like, hey, we're going to be like always implementing, adjusting, adding new stuff and new layers onto the bot every month. So that's another option as well. That's going to be a little bit more. So Irma says she's a luxury realtor, and so if you're going to be offering it to people, then yeah, maybe you offer it outside of your business, your city. But what I would maybe offer is if you understand this concept of chatbots, what if you can now offer those chatbots to your partners, your loan guys, your mortgage people? You could be the people that offer them, the chatbots or the qualification things, or you could, partner up with other local businesses and you be the kind of the pie, what do they call it? The Pied Piper, right? Like you're the talk of the town because you're connecting everybody. So even if you and you may do that and take that route and start offering those services to other businesses. So lots of different routes as well. All right, guys, I wish I could show you my screen. I've had 19 people hit the like button. So I need one more person to hit the like button. And oh, there it was. So you guys did it. We did it. I love all of you for hanging out and being in this group. Guys, if you guys have any other questions that you want me to get into, drop those down below and I will answer them. And I don't know. I'm just so grateful that you guys decided that it was worth it to hang out today. So go. Bunch of free shit in the group. We have a contest that's coming up as well. So if you guys want to enter that, you guys basically just need to go through the training. The link's in the description. So go do all that cool stuff, guys, and have an amazing weekend. Sell some bots and let me know how it goes. Peace.